You are listening to ProveText, a Glossa House podcast exploring scripture with Dr. T. Michael W. Halcomb and Dr. Frederick J. Long. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Three Things. Michael Halcomb here, and here are three things that I'm thinking about. One is planned prayer. And I bring this up because our congregation where I serve is moving in a more liturgical direction, and I love that. But one of the things that we started doing several months ago was there's really no spontaneous prayers. So every prayer is written out ahead of time and put up on the screen. And that allows, for example, someone in our congregation who's very hard of hearing, who essentially can't hear anything, to pray out loud with us. I wish I had thought of this sooner, but this beloved individual we have in our congregation who's hard of hearing shows up every week. And for the longest time, the prayers were just, spontaneous and on the spot, and he couldn't hear any of them, didn't know what was being said. And so this move to putting the prayers up on the screen, written ahead of time, have been really a game changer for him in that regard. And so I suggest that to you. Plan your prayers out ahead of time, put them on the screen. It can be a great ministry to those who are hard of hearing. I was also thinking today about course evaluations. The end of the semester is coming up for a lot of students and a lot of teachers, and course evaluations can be a source of real frustration for professors, for teachers. And one of the cool things that I've had the privilege of doing in the past at another academic institution where I worked was giving input on and shape to what course evaluations looked like. And what I came up with and the group accepted was that half of the course evaluation the first half should focus on the student, and they should evaluate themselves. Did they do all the reading? Did they put the time and effort in? Did they show up ready to participate? Were they consistent? And so they're essentially grading themselves. And I feel like once they do that, it puts them in a much better mindset to be fair toward the professor. And so the second half of the eval is geared toward the professor. So for those of you who might be in education or, have some sway in your institutions for doing that sort of thing, I would suggest it to you. I found that it was really, really beneficial. And even the institution where I used to teach still uses that. So yeah, finally, and then for something way, in a different sort of arena, what happens when you live by the ocean and you get stung by a jellyfish or a man-o-war? A man-o-war is just kind of like a jellyfish. They have these long tentacles and they wrap around you and sting you, and they leave these big whelps on you, and it burns like crazy. This can also go for bee stings or wasp stings. So just recently, I had a man-o-war attached to each of my arms and stung me on both arms. I mean, it was like stings all up and down my arms. And there's, knowledge, I guess, old wisdom that says if you have others pee on your arms, it'll make the sting go away, but it doesn't really work. That's what I've heard. Haven't had anyone try that. But what did work is immediately, if you get stung by anything, use 91% rubbing alcohol and rub it on your arms, or spray it on your arms and rub it in, and immediately put ice on it. And the swelling never really showed up for me. I had, before I was able to put that stuff on, a rash was breaking out. I was starting to swell, but after I put the rubbing alcohol on, followed by the ice, boom. 20, 30 minutes later, took the ice off, was gone. So yeah, jellyfish or man-o-war stings or bee stings or wasp stings. There you go. 91% alcohol rubbed in, followed by a decent amount of icing. So yeah, there you go. That's what I'm thinking about. Hope that helps.
Looking for creative ways to launch your biblical language studies to the next level? We here at Glossa House create resources with you in mind. We've created a stock of innovative and cutting-edge audio, video, digital, and print resources to help you reach your language goals. Visit glossahouse.com to find what you've been looking for. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.